peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I...
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. Thank you, Kershaw. This is a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. Muncy, a walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
Give me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back.
The Dodgers couldn't capitalize on opportunities. They lose to the Rockies. Ups and downs for Walker Buehler. And could the Padres catch the Dodgers in the division? That's coming up next on Dodgers Nation postgame show.
Another payoff. Fetty got him with a slider. Thank you, Kershaw. It's Teoscar Hernandez. Mookie masked. It's a grand slam. 83 to stop it and game ender.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Thanks for joining us after the Dodgers lose to the Colorado Rockies by a final score of 6-3. They're now just 3 games up on the San Diego Padres at 92-63 on the season. The Dodgers will not win 100 games in a year. So no 100-win game for the Dodgers this season. No 100-win record for the Dodgers. Of course, that isn't the end-all, be-all, but definitely when you look at the success they've had in recent seasons, all the 100-win seasons, it won't be happening this season. But the bigger issue is the fact that the Dodgers have a big series starting on Tuesday, a 3-game series with the San Diego Padres. And right now, if the White Sox don't do the Dodgers a solid, and the White Sox are trying to avoid history on becoming the worst team ever in big league history, if the White Sox don't win tomorrow, and both teams hold serve, the Dodgers win, the Padres win, you enter that series, a 3-game set, with the Padres having the tiebreaker, already taking 7 of 10 games from the Dodgers this season. So definitely concerning. And 2, you want to hold on to the top 2 seeds in the entire league if you're the Dodgers as well. Right now, they're right close to the top, tied with the Philadelphia Phillies at 92-63. But yeah, not good baseball tonight. Not good baseball at all. Not good baseball at all for the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. The Walker Buehler, first couple innings, he's dealt with those issues in the first inning. The second inning has an ERA over 9 in the first, an ERA over 6 in the second. It was more of the same. The Rockies get 1 in the first and 2 in the second. But really, the big story was the Dodgers just not capitalizing with runners in scoring position. They go 1 for 8 tonight. They left 12 runners on base, so they did have their opportunities, and they just could not capitalize. They could not capitalize in this one. We're going to talk about the bullpen. Daniel Hudson, is he someone who just needs a rest, that needs that 5-day layoff in between the regular season and the NLDS, or is he someone that might not make the postseason roster? I mean, he has an ERA over 5 this month. He's had some home run issues of late. He's been hanging stuff up in the zone. He didn't look great. You got Edgardo Henriquez down to in the minor leagues. And I think the other big story tonight was Jeremy Rehak. Jeremy Rehak, an absolute clown show, the bump show tonight. And I hope that all the umpire fans got their money's worth by watching him umpire tonight, because he was atrocious in this one. You had Walker Buehler not getting the inside part of the plate during his outing, and then later in the game, a couple key at-bats. I mean, you can pick a couple here, but really the ones that really stood out and impacted this game heavily were later in the game when Gavin Lux had an opportunity to come to the plate with the bases loaded. Gavin Lux stays in the game with the bases loaded, and what happens? he ends up striking out. We'll talk about that inning as well. But first and foremost, yeah, I mean, bottom of the 5th inning. It was ugly. And kind of this is really the pivotal inning right there because the Dodgers, they were just trailing by 1 run. It was a 4-3 lead for the Rockies at that point. Mookie Betts hit a leadoff single. Betts stole second. Teoscar walked to give the Dodgers runners on first and second. Then Edman, he hit into a fielder's choice. They get Teoscar at second, and you had runners on the corners with Max Muncy at the plate. Muncy, he drew a 5-pitch walk to load the bases with 2 outs. And then Bud Black, he elects to go to his bullpen, and he goes to the lefty, Luis Peralta, and first of all, Dave Roberts doesn't go to Kike, doesn't go to Chris Taylor, does not go to his bench in this situation, and he was right there. And I think, one, that was a bad decision by Dave because for the season, Gavin Lux just has not had success against Southpaws all year, and really of late, he hasn't been great. He did have a single earlier in this game, but he was 6 for his last 36 since his last extra base hit at the beginning of September. And it was the first time that Lux had faced a lefty since September 7th. So he doesn't go to Chris Taylor. He doesn't go to Kike Hernandez in that situation. And yes, to Lux's credit, he did take some pitches on the inside part of the plate after getting up in the count 2-0. For the third pitch of the bat, it looked like it was a couple inches off the plate, could have gone as a ball, and then the fourth pitch could have gone as a ball as well, and it would have tied the game because it would have been a walk with the bases loaded, and you would have had a 4-4 game with the bases loaded. So that could have been the big inning there, but it was just an atrocious decision by Dave, in my opinion. I mean, what's the point of having Chris Taylor and Kike Hernandez if you're not going to use them in those situations? I think to get the most from Gavin Lux, you have to optimize him in the right situations, and he just wasn't doing that tonight. So didn't love that non-move from Dave Roberts. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, reacts absolute terrible calls there in this game. Definitely, it was a huge, and I hate to be the blame the umpire guy. I'm usually never blame the ump guy, but it was the bumpire show tonight. So hopefully the fans got their money's worth. All those fans, they didn't come to see Shohei Ohtani or Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman. No, they came to watch you umpire. You did a great job, man. You killed it tonight because it was all about you making these awful calls. And that was the only bad call. I mean, the one that was the most egregious as far as how off the plate it was came a little later in the bottom of the 7th inning after Teoscar Hernandez was safe at first on a fielding error by Ryan McMahon. It's still a 4-3 game at that point. Dodgers trailing by a run. Tommy Edman has the full count, 7th pitch of the at-bat, and he strikes out looking on a pitch that was 5 inches off the plate, was well off the plate. It was a terrible, terrible call. I mean, you could just see this right here. Just look at how off the plate this pitch was. I mean, just take a look at this. How off the plate this was. Absolutely terrible, terrible umpiring there tonight. So we're going to talk about more of this. We're going to talk about an update from our friends over in AAA on Tony Gonsolin. But first, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, guys, I'm telling you. You guys do Prize Picks? If you don't, you definitely should. If you sign up today, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money action in sports. You just pick more or less than on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. If you sign up today, you can get $50 off instantly when you play $5. You don't need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And looking at this month, 1 Caleb Williams passing yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. This week on Prize Picks, I'm looking at Tyreek Hill for more than 64.5 receiving yards and Dak Prescott for more than 259.5 passing yards. Download the app today using the link in our bio and use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N, to get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Once again, you can get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup using the code NATION to sign up. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, so let's dive into the comments, guys. Welcome to Dodgers Nation post-game show. Kind of hot and heavy on this one. upset with this game. I mean, you got to take care of business. You got to take care of business, and that Padres team is going to come to L.A. with a lot of confidence. And look, here's the thing. We got some comments here. Let's go. Mossy, I have Dodgers finishing second in play instead of having a week off. What has finishing first done? Nothing but early exits. Yeah, I mean, you ask for that, but be careful what you wish for, because typically that doesn't lead to a long World Series run. Yes, we've seen what happened with the Diamondbacks last season. Yes, it has happened. I'm not saying it hasn't, but the truth of the matter is, with the state of this bullpen, the fact that they are overworked, they're gassed, they've been overworked all season long, and this rotation that has their issues as well. I mean, look, Jack Flaherty's been a rock, but he's also pitched the entire season. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's pitching tomorrow, he's trying to work his way back as well. Walker Buehler has not looked great. He's kind of just been okay. He did settle down tonight. There were some bright spots. We'll talk about him a little more in just a second here. But the truth of the matter is that you put yourself in the best position if you finish in one of the top 2 seeds, if you win your division. It's just, you guys are basing this off. This is one thing I kind of want to mention. Everyone that's having this take, and I respect it, because look, it's a fire take. I love it. I love all takes here. Trust me, I do. Because look, this is what we do here. We talk baseball. It's all I love. But let me remind you, you are basing that off of pre-Ohtani, pre-Teoscar, different versions of the Dodgers team. I want to see how this team with Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez and a refreshed Mookie Betts, and yes, Freddie Freeman, by the way, one of the bright spots, Freddie Freeman tonight, he went 2 for 4. He had hit under 200 in his last 15 games. He's been struggling of late, but it was nice to see Freddie Freeman have a good night. He went 2 for 4 with a walk. But I want to see what this version of the Dodgers looks like with the layoff, that is in a better position to make a long run. Because, yeah, it might help you stay okay and in rhythm early on, and you might advance in the wild card round and the NLDS. But the truth of the matter is, we're thinking NLCS. We're thinking World Series. We're thinking winning the whole damn thing. And the truth is, the more fresh your bullpen is, the less amount of wear and tear, the more tread that you have on those tires, the better off you're going to be in the long run. But, hey, my opinion could change if it doesn't work this time around. But I think that you still want to have that. But Bilal K, Walker Buehler can try to look confident on the mound all he wants, but he shouldn't have been traded because he is of very little use to us. Gary, hey, D-Mac, give Dave some good advice once in a while. Joshua, why haven't you guys brought back your boy Bauer yet? I mean, if you pay attention to baseball, if you pay attention to the Dodgers, there's a 0% chance they were ever going to bring back Trevor Bauer. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. So my whole thing about this show, I only spend time on things that have more than 0% chance of happening. And based on everyone I've talked to, everyone around Major League Baseball, every insider I've talked to, everyone from the Dodgers I've talked to, that there's a 0% chance that they were never even going to consider it for a second. So if you want to get into the deeper conversation of whether that's right or wrong, or it's a good or bad idea, why waste any airtime on something that's not going to happen? So I'm just letting you know, those are the facts. But even without Hudson Homer, they still lose. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I want to talk about Daniel Hudson, too, as well. Joseph Lomo says, no Daniel Hudson. He throws meatballs right down the plate, especially up in the zone. That's kind of typically been the problem area for Daniel Hudson. And he's someone that just looks like, that's why it's tough to determine. Does he need a break? Maybe he skips the NLDS and you keep him warm for the NLCS, and you kind of put him on the shelf and allow him to retool and re-energize himself, because Anthony Banda, he could be activated soon and get some appearances before the postseason. So if you keep Banda and Alex Vesia, which they possibly could, and I think right now that could be the right choice, it most likely is, that might be the move. I know everyone wants Edgardo Henriquez. It'd be nice. It's a nice thought. I would entertain the idea, but there's some guys in front of him right now based on how they're looking at things. But, yeah, I definitely think the conversation of Daniel Hudson, as far as him being an automatic lock, higher leverage reliever, I don't buy it. I don't buy it right now, and you're absolutely right. I mean, top of the ninth inning, you have Daniel Hudson out there on the mound. It's a 4-3 game. It's a one-run game. And the next inning, you had Shohei Ohtani and Betts and the big boys coming to the plate. You feel pretty damn good about your chances in a one-run game with the MV3 coming to the plate. And he strikes out Jones looking. but 8 pitches in the at-bat, 4-seam fastball up in the zone. Then he gives up a double to Cave. And then a couple batters later, Charlie Blackmon, he has an 0-2 in the count, just can't finish him off. Leaves a 4-seam fastball a little out over the plate. And then he hits a 348-foot home run to right, a 2-run shot to give the Rockies a 6-3 lead. At that point, your chance of winning, they go down significantly. It's very different to come back down 1 run in the 9th versus a 3-run deficit. I don't care how bad of a team this is. The Rockies got their 60th win of the season. So, yeah, I definitely think that's one of my biggest takeaways, if not the biggest takeaway from tonight's game, is I think you have to call into question Daniel Hudson's role in the postseason. I think you have to look long and hard about who are the very best relievers that give this team a chance to win. And Huddy, when he's on, he has his moments. He absolutely does. And for a long portion of the season, he was one of those guys that you had to say, hey, I mean, where would this team be without him? But heading into this one, 6 2/3 innings this month, a 5.40 ERA. In August, a 5.23 ERA. So last couple of months, he's been a guy with an ERA north of 5. The strikeout numbers have been down. The swing and miss has been down. And the home runs have continued to, he gave up 2 home runs in August in 10 1/3 innings. I mean, not terrible, but it's just he hasn't been as dominant and as sharp as you would like him to be. Last 2 outings before this, he had given up multiple hits in both those frames. So not missing as many bats, I think that's definitely a conversation they need to have, whether or not he makes this postseason roster, at least out of the gates, right off the rip. We got Eddie Chavez, a $20 super chat. Bad calls by the umpires all night long. Need to fire Dave Roberts. JK, love you, Dave. Yeah, I mean, certainly that, honestly, I hate to be the blame umpire guy, but guess what? What's going to happen? Oh, the umpire scorecard's going to come out and it's going to prove that Jeremy Riak was awful. What's going to happen? Is he going to be fined? No. Does he have to speak to the media? No. Does he get suspended? No. They don't hold these umpires accountable. And they put them in a bad spot to begin with. It's unfair to the umpires because they get embarrassed on social media, on television. They get yelled at by managers around the league when they make bad calls. But the truth of the matter is they need a robo-ump. Managers need the ability to challenge calls. It's so long overdue. I'm so sick and tired of Major League Baseball being 5 to 10 years late on everything. If this was the National Football League, the #1 league on the planet, as far as how much money it makes, this would have been done already. If this was the NBA, this would have been done already. I'm so sick of baseball waiting so long to do things that are so obvious they need to do. What must be done eventually should be done immediately. You need the challenge system, and the manager has to have the right to challenge a handful of calls per game. It has to happen because it's going to lead to more embarrassing nights for these umpires. I don't know if Jeremy Riak had a reservation at 9:15 at the Palm in downtown LA or something like that, or he grew up a Padres fan, or he bet on the team. I don't know what the hell his deal was, but I mean, go to the optometrist, man. Kike, give me your glasses, man. I mean, what's going on here? What's going on here? Gavin Stone, update Mr. Classic. He's done for the year. You will not see Gavin Stone pitch again for the Dodgers this season. Tony Gonsolin, update. The update on Tony Gonsolin is a positive one. And that's what, well, let me read some comments and I'll segue into that because I think that is intertwined with the Walker Buehler conversation tonight. Delirium 9, so are we ready to beat the Padres, Phillies, and Yankees? I think that they are on their best day, for sure. Some questionable punch-outs tonight from Daniel. Rosemary Rodriguez says, Hudson, retire, please. That's a little dramatic. Come on, Rosemary. But I like the take. I'm here for emotional takes, as you can see. I'm a post-game show host, so I'm in the overreaction business. Let's put it that way. Kenny Chung, I don't want to see Hudson pitch again. That dude is washed. Always gives up runs. As a dire Dodgers fans go down here. As a dire Pirates fan, Royal's going to take this series. What? We need robo-ums, Cotney, Roper. What if the Dodgers, Padres, and Phillies all end up tied at the end of the season? Padres will be #1, Phillies 2, Dodgers 3. That's why, I mean, you got to hold on to that. You have to hold on to that. Carl says decoy greater than sign Hudson. You guys are going in tonight. It's a Saturday. You guys are saying, hey, you guys want all the smoke. Mr. Classic, our talent is the floor character and fight is the ceiling. Dave Roberts. Roy Estrada says, Tony, send you a dress so you can send you cupcakes and pat you on the head like a good little Padre fan. Hudson ERA is over 3 for the first time. That's from BC, 3.10. Rosemary Rodriguez over 14 against the Rocks is not okay. Hudson's ERA over 5 this month. I like this one. This is from PRFLO Drum 72. Angel Hernandez is the worst umpire ever. Umpire head, hold my beer. Yeah, no, for sure. We got Ohtani is going crazy in the playoffs. I love that. No Daniel Hudson in the postseason. He throws meatballs down the plate. As a diehard Angels fan, my season is over. Join the Dodgers, man. Robel says, Robleski pitched well tonight. Got to have a bases loaded jam twice. For sure. Blew a chance to take a lead on the Phils and maintain a 4-game lead on San Diego. This one hurts a little. Serious pressure to win Sunday. Douglas Dillard, first of all, great name. Second of all, 100%. I mean, you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound tomorrow in a Dodgers team that needs to, at the very least, hold serve, but you did have an opportunity to give yourself that little bit of margin for error heading into that series. And look, the truth of the matter is the Padres, they want this series. They want the Dodgers. They want to play spoiler. They want to make things interesting. And the Dodgers are a team that on any given night, you just don't know what pitching is going to show up. And now we're kind of in this post-Shohei Ohtani 50-50 club thing. I think that now it's kind of about facing the reality of what this team really is. And I think that's what we're going to learn in the very next week, because that's going to feel like a postseason series. It truly is. It's definitely going to feel like more than anything that the NBA in-season tournament was. What even was that? But it's going to feel like a postseason series against that Padres team. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, to say the least. Dude, I feel sorry for him, man. He needs to come back. Joshua, I mean, yeah, that's just what I'm saying, for sure. Kelly Oshiro, and I respect your take on it. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to give you guys the info. El Machingon, hey, D-Mac, on Friday morning, I told my boss, who's an Angel fan, that the Dodgers and the Angels have something in common. Other than Ohtani, I said the number 91 Dodgers fans. Yeah, after the sweep, after we sweep in the ravine. Look, this is good. Thank you, Diane Schroeder. Definitely hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. But, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it that I do think that this is good. I think this is beneficial for this team because, look, we've seen a couple seasons ago and just last season too, is that, look, this team typically plays meaningless baseball in the last couple weeks of the year. And they definitely have a series to play for. So I definitely think that that's going to benefit them because it's going to keep those juices flowing, man. It's going to keep that excitement level high, and they're going to need to be locked in. And it's a good challenge to have. It's a good challenge to have. But I think that really the big takeaway here is, yeah, I mean, look, the Padres, they're 3 games back. You have 7 games left. Of those 7 games, 3 against the Padres. That series starts Tuesday. And the magic number is still 5. So the magic number is still 5. Dodgers 92-63. No 100-win season for the first time in a long time. First time since 2018 in a full regular season. So, yeah, I mean, look, that's not what's going to define this team. It's not going to be what makes them successful. But Walker Buehler, let's talk about him because I think that's really the other big topic of conversation in this one. Walker Buehler, he said after the game, I feel good. This is the most confident I've been in him. This is Dave Roberts on Buehler. He says, I feel good about Walker Buehler. This is the most confident I've been in him this year. I feel very confident in him starting a playoff game for us. So Dave Roberts says Walker Buehler is going to start a playoff game for them. And if you've been following this team closely for the last couple of weeks, you already knew that was coming in some capacity, mainly due to the fact that Gavin Stone's done for the year, Glasnow's done for the year, Clayton Kershaw still working his way back. I mean, he was kind of that guy that was in that mix. And I think that, look, there could be worse options. Does he inspire that much confidence? I mean, like I said, his ERA in the first inning this season is north of 9. His ERA in the second inning this season is north of 6. So tonight, top of the first inning, first batter, Blackman doubled to center. Then he walks Tovar on 8 pitches. Then Tovar gets a second on a wild pitch. Then Blackman gets to third. He does come back to strike out McMahon on 4 pitches. Nice four-seam fastball up in the zone. Hit 95 on the gun. And I think it's Toglia to ground to a fielder's choice. That scored Blackman to make it 1-0 early. And then he strikes out Rogers, and he gets Hilliard looking too. So the good of tonight's start was the strikeouts. I mean, he struck out Hilliard with the cutter. He struck out Rogers with the cutter as well. So he was getting swing and miss with that cutter. And he was also getting it kind of up in the zone and on the edges too. So that definitely was a positive. And he also had 9 strikeouts. So 9 strikeouts tonight for Walker Buehler. That's certainly something to feel good about in this one. And look, I mean, that's 2 more than he's had in any start this year. So that's definitely something to feel encouraged by. And he also pitched into the 6th inning for the 3rd straight start. But he also did give the go-ahead home run to Ryan McMahon with that solo shot there in the 5th inning. And the home runs continue to be worrisome. He's given up 4 home runs, and he's given up at least 4 runs too in his last. I mean, yeah, it was just the home run balls continue to be an issue. But I think for tonight, I mean, you look at the 2nd inning, Jones reaches on an infield single to short. A couple batters later, he hits Stallings. A couple batters later, Tovar doubles to left. And Stallings and Jones scored to make it 3-0. So, yeah, I mean, he did go on a run, though. He went on a run tonight. After that, he really settled down. He got into a groove. He retired 9 straight Rockies hitters. You were seeing a lot of 1-2-3s out there, and they didn't get another hit until 2 outs in the 5th inning when McMahon hit the home run, knuckle curve, first pitch, kind of left it up in the zone a little bit, a little hanging there. But still, I mean, bounces back to strike out Toglia to get out of it. It was a really nice changeup in the middle of the plate. So I thought the sequencing was better tonight for Walker Buehler. The location was better. I think that based on what they have, it doesn't make you jump for joy and expect to see the elite 2018-19 version of Walker Buehler. Certainly doesn't do that, but it does make you feel better about the possibility of what he could contribute. Now, someone asked me about Tony Gonsolin. Tony Gonsolin is trending in the right direction. Tonight, Tony Gonsolin, in his 3rd rehab start, he had 6 strikeouts, and he retired 9 of the 10 batters that he faced. He had 3 scoreless innings, and it was his 3rd rehab start, likely his last rehab start in OKC. Through 45 pitches, he generated 10 swings and misses. And, yeah, I mean, I really think that Tony Gonsolin certainly deserves some consideration. I think that we're going to see him in the following week, and based on that, it's just about building him up. You got to build him up and continue to see if he can be a part of this postseason mix. But still, I mean, really, really impressed with his start down at OKC. 3rd start, it definitely went very, very well. 3 scoreless, didn't give up a hit, 6 punch-outs. They faced the Salt Lake Bees of the Angels organization. So that's the other biggest takeaway tonight is Tony Gonsolin, the Catman, could be back on the mound. I'll give myself a breath for that. Next week at Dodger Stadium or against the Rockies on the road, depending on how things shake up. But let me know down below, do you want to see Tony Gonsolin in the mix for your Los Angeles Dodgers? Let me know down below. Let me take my prize picks off. But, yeah, let me know down below. I mean, I think it's intriguing. I truly do. We got to no time to play weak or confused. Bilal K, the biggest problem the Dodgers will have come postseason is twofold. Edman is a Gold Glove shortstop. I don't think it's a problem. It's a good problem to have. Delirium 9, White Sox are just rolling. D-Mac, the Dodgers pitching is bad. They won't be able to last this season from Alex Renteria. Delirium at this point, Knack edges out Buehler for a postseason roster spot. It takes too long for Buehler to get into any kind of groove. Well, hey, that's the news right there, is Dave Roberts said that he will be a part of this postseason rotation. So you got Flaherty, Yamamoto, Buehler, and I think Knack deserves a postseason spot as well. I think Tony Gonsolin, Clayton Kershaw, I would like to see, like I said, that game 4, use an opener. And then a piggyback situation potentially with the remaining starters that haven't gone that series. The Knacks, the Tony Gonsolins possibly. I mean, we'll see how Clayton Kershaw's buildup continues. So, yeah, no, for sure. And you guys are not that excited about Buehler. And, yeah, I mean, his line doesn't blow you away. But, I mean, you're pretty close to getting where you can feel good about the swing and miss. I mean, tonight he goes 5 1/3 innings. Allowed 4 runs on 5 hits, had 9 strikeouts and a walk, 89 pitches, 58 for strikes, was 15 for 24 on first pitch strikes, had 14 swings and misses. I mean, that's pretty damn good based on the Walker Buehler we've seen of late. Now, like I said, he's not butane, not high-octane butane. It's low-octane butane, but maybe middle grade. Can we get him to middle grade? I'd take that. 89 for sure. A couple more here, guys. D-Mac, you were missing great passion that the full. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I look at Dave has passion. Okay, come on now. Tony, Dodgers is trying to hide Yamamoto from San Diego. I like that take. I'm here for that. Good comment of the show. Dave is loyal to his guys. Casperius will get no play. Rosemary Rodriguez, I'm depressed and going to bed. Good night, Dodgers Nation. Good night, Rosemary Rodriguez. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, after the Dodgers win this series. Bruce Davis Walker is trash. He's done lose every time he starts. Pitchers pitched well enough to win. That's from Gio de Ocho. They did. Certainly they did. I think a combination of the offense not coming through when they needed to, 12 men left on base, the runners in scoring position just couldn't capitalize. I mean, anytime you go 1 for 8, it's just not going to be a good night. And, yeah, like I said, I didn't love the Gavin Lux situation there in the 5th inning. I think, yeah, it's kind of early in the game, but still, I think Kike, I mean, why is he there? Why is Chris Taylor here if you're not going to give him those situations? And if you want to be a part of this postseason mix as far as their role, this is a good situation to get them ready for that kind of role that they will ultimately have in the postseason. We got Gina. Hey, D-Mac, Roberts lost his game tonight when Lux was not replaced with Pages. Pages plays left field. Yeah, and look, that's the thing, too. And you guys know that I've been pushing this for quite some time. And the truth is, Pages not in the lineup tonight. And that's certainly easy. That's the move that I've been trying to make for a while, is you put Paz in right, you move Mookie to second, you get Paz the at-bat. I think in that situation, though, I like Paz as a pinch hitter. I do, for sure, especially against a lefty because he's raked against lefties all season long. But I think that for a guy like Kike and Chris Taylor, they're not getting very many at-bats of late, I mean, as a whole, and they're not going to get too many at-bats and starts in the postseason, right? So I think if you guys want to plug them into a role like that, those are perfect situations to just kind of keep them warm and, as I like to say, keep them relevant. Yes, because the Padres hit them up. Buehler has no control. That's from Carl. Mr. Classic Buehler is a bit better than Bobby Miller, but that's still bad. Mr. Classic, I wouldn't say that. I think that it's pretty much, you can probably say, I mean, Bobby Miller of late has really kind of struggled. I think Buehler at least has shown promise and shown that he can take steps in the right direction. The big steps in the right direction tonight was that he had 9 strikeouts. That was a season high. You saw more swing and miss, and he did pitch into the 6th inning once again. Kelly Oshiro, why don't the Dodgers seem so locked into me? Shohei, Teo, Pages, Will, Miggy, they seem locked in. The others seem super casual, uninterested, no different than usual, no more intense. This is it. I agree with that statement, actually. I think that this team is almost kind of, look, I mean, they're kind of acting like, okay, the division's sewn up. I mean, they got to be hungry. I mean, they're also, too, the guys at the bottom of the roster, you want them to fight for roles. But I tend to agree with that, is that, yeah, you have some work to do to finalize your postseason seeding. And I think that a lot of this team looks a little drained, let's be honest, from the Shohei Ohtani celebration, just kind of everything that went into that. And like the road trip too, you combine the road trip with how many consecutive games they've been playing. I mean, really a 10-game streak. A 10 of 11 games, 10 games, 11 days. I mean, that's definitely something that's a factor as well. So I agree. Tigerman says Lux regression will be studied. Martin Troop says Gonsolin and Honeywell are the same pitcher. I tend to disagree with that. Honeywell, by the way, he got himself into a little trouble tonight, but he did get out of it. He ends up going 2 innings. You love that about him. Gave up a hit and a walk. Had a strikeout through 34 pitches. Yeah, not his best work, but hey, fear the turtleneck. Lux had a 500 on base night. Yeah, think about Lux. I mean, he should have drawn that walk. I mean, the truth of the matter is, yes, I do think that he shouldn't have been batting that situation, but at the end of the day, he did put together a pretty decent at-bat where he should have drawn that walk, and it would have tied the game and kept the bases loaded. And you got to give him credit for that, but still, you also want to see him be aggressive too. Malachi Faria, Gonsolin should be a 5-starter if he cracks the postseason roster. Yes on Knack from Diane Schroeder. Dodgers Z Showtime fan says Tony Gonsolin greater than sign Walker. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you're asking Tony to kind of step up here and have his first action be the last week of the season and then potentially in the postseason. That's definitely not a soft landing, and not a lot of guys can handle that with flying colors. Is Rich Hill available? Certainly is, but he's not going to be on this team, that's for sure. But I love me some Dick Mallon, man. Rich Hill's the man. We got Devin. We got, We got a little blocker action there. It's a block party. Alex Rendria, D-Mac, it's against the Rockies. How will he fare against the Phillies, Padres, Arizona, all those playoff teams? Look, if I didn't tell you that didn't keep me up at night, I'd be lying. Trust me, I wake up at 3:30 in the morning in a cold sweat thinking of things just like that. Keeping going. My voice is gone from yelling at Roberts, bringing in Huddy. That's from time and again. Not the best doc game. Not the best doc game. Hannibal Hector. Hey, D-Mac, it's the last day of summer. Go. Well, hey, hopefully the Dodgers can be legends of the fall. We got, we're a wild card team from Eric Flores. Kike has like 1 pinch hit. Neil Kasamoto. Kevin Rodriguez. I mean, the thing about Kike Hernandez, though, is we've seen him come through in those situations in the past. And I think for Kike, his year was just different just because he did fill in when Max Muncy was out for an extended period of time. And he really stepped up and was the guy that took on that role. And unless you're going to use him in a platoon situation with Gavin Lux in the postseason, I mean, the role there is going to be pretty defined as far as what he does. This year, Kike is 1 for 18 in pinch hit situations, but I mean, it's a pretty small sample size. That's definitely for sure the case there. I think I would honestly have I think Pages to do damage would have been nice in that situation for sure. Team looks like they need a break. Been a long season. Yeah, it has been a long season. Lots of injuries for sure. Hey, D-Mac, you said this is the most anticipated season in LA history. Los Dodgers World Series champs. It is and was. It has been the most anticipated season in Dodgers history. Anytime you spend $1.4 billion and you bring in the best player that's ever played the game and you put him on that team, it certainly is. I mean, I don't see how it couldn't be. Heading into August, I really believe Gavin Lux was in contention for a Gold Glove. Now, never mind. That's from Delirium 9. He was playing above average defense. I think Gold Glove, a little bit of a stretch, but he has made some errors of late. Robert's IQ is lower than our win total. DS, ouch. Roy, what's up, Nando? The Dodgers will shine as the underdog. The underdog Dodgers. How about that? Wild card on 3. Ethan says that. Why did Roberts argue with the ump? Bad leadership. He was yelling at him a little bit. I mean, hey, I'm always for them going out there and kicking dirt. That's always fun to see. But the Dodgers, they lose tonight to the Colorado Rockies by a final score of 6-3. They dropped to 92 and 63. It'll be the first time the Dodgers don't win 100 games in a full regular season since 2018. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I mean, you already extended your postseason streak to 12, so I'm not overly upset about that, to be honest with you, especially when you consider the injuries and just kind of the parity of Major League Baseball this year. So, yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. But, hey, the bigger picture is, hey, holding on to this division and holding on to your spots where you need them. Other positive tonight, I mean, Mookie Betts hit a bomb. Nice to see Betts go big fly. And it's definitely kind of bears repeating that you still have a super-duper star in Mookie Betts. the Dodgers down 3-0 in the third after a Shohei Ohtani walk. Mookie Betts hit a solo shot. That made it 3-2. And how about our guy Hunter Fiducia getting a single to tie things up there in the fourth inning? So nice to see Hunter Fiducia get a nice little single, and unfortunately just was not enough. But guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We'll be back tomorrow to recap it, give you all the latest news, but do some walk-off takes right here. Dodgers versus the Astros in the World Series. Book it. Hudson just gave up another home run from Jason Diamond. That's a bruh. Hudson is old. You guys are going hard. Mike Condaza says not winning 100 games might be beneficial for the Dodgers. They never won a World Series in a season with 100-plus wins. Interesting take. I will say, though, in 2020, they won 43 games, and that technically is on pace for a 116-win season for sure. Jack Geezy, don't go D-Mac. How about Doc not pinch hit for Fiducia in the eighth? World Series or bust from BC. Yamamoto will dominate. Why didn't they save Yamamoto for the Padres? I mean, they're trying to keep him on a pretty consistent start routine. And, hey, I mean, someone pointed out earlier, I like the take. I mean, you don't want to kind of see him against the Padres in case you see him in the DS, and that certainly is going to be something that could definitely help his chances in the fact that opponents aren't overly familiar with him. So I think that's going to be a factor as well. But still, big takeaways tonight. I think they really need to have a long, hard conversation about what to do with Daniel Hudson. He's had an ERA over 5 for the last 2 months. Strikeouts are down. He gives it the home run tonight. He definitely looks fatigued. Might need the break. Might also need to look in a different direction. I think having him as some guaranteed high leverage guy, I'm not so sure that puts this team in the. In fact, I'm sure that right now it's not the best thing for this team. And then other thing, too, the big news after the game is Dave Roberts saying that Walker Buehler, he sees him making a playoff start. So that's big. And, yeah, I think you kind of have to get the plan with the Gavin Lux situation. When are you going to keep him in against lefties? Are you going to use Andy Pajes, Kike, Chris Taylor? How are you going to substitute Gavin Lux against left-handed pitchers? I'm very, very shocked that they didn't do that. And also, terrible umpiring tonight. I just could not believe just how egregious some of those calls were. I definitely think it had a big impact on this game, and a game that the Dodgers should certainly have won. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button. My name is Doug McKain. Like I said, you can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger